How to stay happy all the time? This is a question that most of us are desperate to find an answer to. And I think we've all grown mature enough to understand that happiness as a state cannot be sustained forever. But there probably has to be a way to maximize it, to optimize it. What's up, everyone? This is Vidhanjan, and I welcome you to another episode of The 20s Show. In this episode, we'll talk about optimizing our happiness. Let me ask you this question. How do you think you can maximize your happiness? No, there are no right or wrong answers. Just pause and take a moment to reflect upon your own answer. Chances are that you understand that it can be done by getting right nutrition combined with exercise and good quality sleep. Taking this a step further, it can be done by expressing gratitude every day, by journaling out your thoughts, by meditating, and the list continues. While there's absolutely no doubt that these are very powerful lifestyle improvements to enhance overall health and happiness, and I highly recommend adapting to these, this episode will be about something different. Today, I want to add another layer to this equation, and in my opinion, this is the most important part of the equation. This part of the equation is called problems. While problems are often seen in negative light, problems are neutral. Problems, when solved, give rise to happiness, while problems which are unresolved take away happiness. One of the fundamental truths about our life is that we have problems. Some of these problems are right at our face, while some are at a distance. The key to optimizing happiness is to identify the problem at your face, find the truth behind it, and solve the problem for good. Not put a blind eye, not escape those problems, but to go deep and fix them. So suppose you're not happy at a job that you're working at. Why is it that you're not happy? Reflect upon this why. You're not happy at your home majorly. Why is it so? Is it because of the relation that you have with your parents or your siblings or your wife for that matter? Is it that there are problems in your relationship? Why is it? Just know the why. Find and ponder upon the truth. Identify it. Identify the problem behind it. When you feel unhappy during most of the day for multiple days, it's time for you to focus on one thing. Ask yourself, what is that one thing such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? I'll give you two examples to make my point. Both of these examples are my own personal experiences and how I was able to solve the problems that I was going through and how I optimized for happiness. The first was a situation at my office, at my workspace, and the second was a situation which is when I was at home during the pandemic and I wanted to optimize my days for maximum productivity and happiness. Both of these examples will help you identify your problems and put yourself into the situation either when you were physically able to go to your office and work there or at your university, and the second when you are mostly at your home doing work from home or trying to prepare for your examinations or anything which requires you to stay at your own home. So the first example where I was struggling at my office was back in 2017 when I just hopped into my very first job. I was trying to optimize for a lot of things. I was trying to perform very well at the work that I was assigned with. I wanted to excel at it. Secondly, I wanted to work out well. I wanted to eat good meals. I wanted to sleep well. I wanted to meditate every day. I wanted to hit the gym. I wanted to make time to read books. And I also wanted to make time to study for my CAT examination, which happens to be entrance examinations for MBA. All of these things while I was working at a new job which became very challenging for me. So I was trying to, achieve a set of goals for myself at once, which was getting very overwhelming for me. And over the period of a month or two, I grew very unhappy, overwhelmed with a lot of things to do, and I was just not feeling confident about myself. That's when I was having a conversation with my father, with my dad, and I told him that I am not, feeling very confident. I'm not feeling very happy. I think I'm not able to accomplish things that I intend to be accomplishing. I explained the situation to him that I was not performing very well at my office, and everything I was trying to excel at, I was going nowhere with anything. I wasn't able to, accomplish everything the way I wanted to. His response to my problem completely changed the way I will be seeing things moving forward and since then. He said, Vidhan, tell me, what is that one thing where you spend most of your time in your day? I said, it's my office, of course. He said that since you spend most of the time in your day over there, and if you underperform there, you will not feel confident and you will not feel in control of your day. So, in my opinion, what you should most be focusing on is your office. You should be focusing primarily on the way you perform at your office and to optimize your performance so that you feel happy at your work and feel confidence within yourself. I thought that made sense, and so instead of trying to do all the things in a desired way, I zoomed in into this problem which was not performing well at my office. And so for the next 15 to 20 days, I completely focused on reaching my office at time. I completely focused on learning the process well, completely optimizing the work hours that I had. And eventually, 3 weeks down the lane, I started to become the number one performer, not just in my team, but in the entire unit. And for the next 2 months, I was a brilliant performer, if not the best. That gave me a lot of confidence throughout my day, and that made me a lot more happier. Once I solved such a major problem, I identified it and solved it. I could see through how smaller other problems were, and once I got hold of this big problem, tackling the smaller problems was not as difficult for me, and I was able to do it relatively well and in a happier way and much closer to the desired levels. I hope you see how identifying the biggest problem or the problem that is right at my face helped me majorly feel more confident, saner, in control of my time, and to tackle the smaller problems by eating the biggest frog first, as Brian Tracy would put it. The second example would be helpful for anyone who's an entrepreneur trying to do things their own way, or anyone who's majorly at their home and then trying to accomplish things or their goals. So, this was back when the pandemic started last year, and even before that, when my entrepreneurial journey started. So I had always wanted to, start my day with full control. I wanted to exercise every day, to plan my day in advance, to make my to-do list, to meditate, to drink enough water, to make my bed as soon as I wake up, and a lot of things which were clustered in my morning routine, and then go with my day in a very productive fashion. To accomplish all these tasks, it took a lot of willpower, and I kept trying to do these tasks one by one in succession of each other, and it took a lot of willpower, and it was not very feasible for me to, be able to do these things. And then the rest of my day would also go in a way wherein I did not feel a lot control over my actions. I kept going through this problem, and finally I thought, Vidhan, what is that one thing such that by doing it, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? And I thought, instead of focusing on doing all these tasks, I should focus on just waking up early at a fixed time. And I started waking up every day at initially 5 a.m. and then later at 6 a.m. And the moment I started to wake up at a time where most things were inactive, it became so much easier for me to not get distracted and to just focus on doing one thing on top of another. And slowly what I did was I built a sort of routine of how will I go about things. So my exact routine was to immediately wake up and within 1 minute make bed, then drink 500 ml water, then jump on to do 10-minute exercise and then meditate for 10 minutes, then journal, then read books, then express gratitude, and then good to go for the day. That was how I clustered this entire morning routine that gave me immense control over the day, and I felt very much in control of things. I hope these two examples make you see clearly how to, find out the problems that you're having, or to find out the thing that is the most important thing that will change the entire equation of how you're feeling in approaching things. So similarly, it could be any situation for you. You could not be feeling happy because you need to exercise and you're probably not doing that. You want to accomplish a lot of things at once, trying to change your entire lifestyle in a moment's time, in a day or two, which is not feasible at all. We need to, take one step at a time and then move ahead. It could be any problem, and you can just figure out in a similar way how to approach it, how to identify the problem, how to find a solution, and not just, put a band-aid on top of it. We need to deep dive into the problem and fix it for good so that it becomes a sustainable solution which can be endured over time. Once you fix the biggest problem, you will immediately start reclaiming control over your days. You will feel a sense of control, and the more control you think you have over your time and actions, the happier you will feel. So, once you have found a sustainable solution to the biggest problem, repeat that action, the solution, enough to make it your default state of doing. What I mean is to continually do it every day such that it becomes your habit and your default state of doing, and keep doing it. Things will become a lot more easier for you. You will feel much more control, more confidence, more happiness throughout your day, and then start tackling the problems that are at a distance and they are relatively small and easier to tackle with. Also, there is a good amount of scientific evidence that claims that you feel happier when you solve your problems, because that is rewarding in nature. That gives you a dopamine hit. As much as I hate to say this, the problems never end. Think of them as bullets coming at you at different speeds. If you lose your awareness, they're going to hit and cause you pain. You have to have the awareness to identify and deal with them before they come really close to you. Life is hard. So the best way to deal with it is by being harder. Now, as we come towards the end of this podcast episode, I want to give you a blueprint to optimize your happiness. Optimizing your lifestyle will optimize your life. You are basically three-dimensional, so you need to take care of your physical health, your mental health, and your spiritual health. You can take care of your physical health by exercising, getting good nutrition and quality sleep. Take care of your mental health by journaling, spending some me time, reading, etc. And you need to meditate and express gratitude and have the feeling of abundance to take care of your spiritual health. These dimensions, do not forget, are interconnected and each dimension affects the other, so they're all equally important. And it's a complete cycle that goes. Combine these with the fundamental truth that we have problems. So identify the problems and solve them for good. And there you go. A perfect recipe to optimizing your happiness. If you enjoyed listening to this episode, go ahead and give a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe anywhere you're listening to this podcast so you can get notified about new episodes. If you like this type of content, connect with me on Instagram where I post a lot of it and I'm most active on. You can also share it on your story, share it with your friends and tag me. Instagram handle @VidhanJain. That's VIDHANJAINN. Links in the description. If you have a topic in mind you'd like me to address, please reach out and let me know. I'd love to listen to your thoughts. Again, all social media handles are listed below. I'll catch you in the next episode of The 20s Show. Vidhan Jain, signing off.